Hello happy travelers, welcome to my reserve month. This is one of my least favorite things about this job is my reserve month. If I were based anywhere else aside from Phoenix, if I were based in Dallas or Miami or New York or Chicago, anywhere else that we have a base, I would not ever have to do reserve because I'm senior enough to be off in those places. But since I want to be in LA and not commute, I have to be on reserve 3 times a month, and I will probably never be off reserve unless I fly for like 60 years. I have to always do things that remind me why I have this job and why the benefits are awesome. So I took a little solo trip down to Australia, which was on my bucket list for forever. And Kevin wanted to go snowboarding in Japan, and I said, no thank you, it's too cold. So I went down to Australia and I filmed some videos, and we decided that they weren't going to go on the Awkward Tourist page. So I'm gonna post them on this channel. So I hope you guys enjoy my time in Australia. Good morning, happy travelers. Today is all about the largest terrestrial predator on the planet, the saltwater crocodile. I am doing exactly what Kevin asked me not to do on my solo trip to Australia, get eaten by a crocodile. Just kidding. But I am going swimming with saltwater crocodiles today with a pane of glass between us, of course, but it's still pretty scary. And after that, I am going out on a river cruise to try to catch these beasts in the wild. Today is all about these activities around the small town of Port Douglas, north of Cairns, and I am really excited. I'm all about that wildlife, and now it's time to head to the wildlife park to get a safety briefing about swimming with these giants. The place where I'm doing the croc swim is called Wildlife Habitat Port Douglas. It is just off the main highway, so about 8 minutes from Port Douglas, actually, where I spent the night last night. And they have a bunch of other Australian animals in here too. You know, there's koalas and echidnas and all that good stuff. So I might hang around for a little bit afterwards. I'm interested and kind of scared. We'll see. To walk through basically the whole place to get to the crocodile thing, I guess. Oh, hello. I am the only one. Got my snorkel here. Okay.
Hi. Yeah, they're ready. They know what's coming.
They want me.
You see Goliath now. All those feet.
That was absolutely incredible. Oh my God. I think I made a new friend. This is Goliath. There's glass here, don't worry. Oh my God. These things are freaking huge and they are amazing. So there's 2 crocs I swam with today. This is Goliath here. And the other one on my left is called Big Al. And he's almost 19 years old and he only has 6 teeth left, which, aw. But that doesn't make him any less dangerous. And I found out that he used to be at the Australia Zoo and he's one of the first crocodiles that Steve Irwin ever worked with. So he's basically a celebrity. And that makes me so happy because at the end of this trip, I am going to go to the Australia Zoo, which is still owned by the Irwins. Of course, Steve's kids and his wife. And I watched Steve Irwin when I was a kid and I just love it. So that was so awesome. I was the only person in there. And they say they put a max of 4 in that little pool, which isn't too bad. But they say usually they get like maybe 2, but I had it all to myself and I had 10 minutes in there. They fed them chicken on little strings and they kind of bobbed up and down, which seems a little bit weird, but apparently it's a way that they get these crocs out to exercise them, gives them some stimulation, something to kind of hunt. So it's actually a really good thing for them. And it's crazy. I'm surrounded by these big trees and they are absolutely filled with bats. They're making noises and it sounds like birds, but then you look up and there are like hundreds of these bats that are just hanging from these trees and just like cleaning themselves and making all kinds of noise. It's so cool. I am primarily in Australia for the wildlife and so far it is not disappointing. feed the kangaroos here, by the way. I don't have any food.
No more.
They still are coming around me like I do. Hey! I'm sweating my butt off, but I'm in the wetlands now and I've made a friend. This is a bird that's on my arm. Cockatoo? Cockatiel? I don't know. I like him. What? Oh, yeah? Okay, I finally ripped myself away from all the animals. I have 2 hours until my next activity, so I'll probably like get some lunch and clean myself up a little bit. I am an absolute mess. My next activity for today is a river cruise around an area of Port Douglas. A really great place to do a river cruise around here is in the Daintree rainforest, but I don't have time to go up there, unfortunately, so I'm going to settle for one that is nearby. So swimming with the Salties was a little bit of a splurge. It was $120 US, but I booked it through Get Your Guide. I will link it in the description. And my next one I also booked through Get Your Guide, but it was only like $30, so it was super affordable. And it includes a snack and a drink, I think, and it's an hour and a half, so it should be nice and relaxing. But I need to, like, I don't know, somehow change my clothes and like put more sunscreen on. But I'm a little without a home right now, so I'm gonna try to do that in this car, I think. I don't really know. But so far so good. This day has been really awesome and I'm already exhausted, so I'm going to sleep really well tonight, but hopefully some food and probably coffee will get my energy levels back up. Okay, I made it to the marina. This solo trip is really showing me how much of a friggin' mess I am. I am not very organized as a person, but I'm here, I'm surviving. I'm gonna get a little bit of food before my excursion, and then I'm gonna get out on the water, which I'm excited about. Tried to go for something light. Got some avocado toast, which is funny because I traveled here from California, but this is freaking huge. Currently trying to find a boat, the Lady Douglas. It looks cool, it looks like a Jungle Cruise boat. This tour includes a drink, sparkling wine, and a snack, which I have not gotten yet. We haven't even gotten underway and I'm already having a great time.
And the reason for that is the Coriolis effect.
Very orange.
Rotation. Now, we, because he did neglect to pay for any of it. Probably more boats up here than...
After an hour and a half, we are back at the marina. Hopefully I don't back up into the water because there might be crocodiles. I am sweaty. It is extremely hot and humid. I think it's over 100 degrees, so handkerchiefs are the way to go. I do not know how girls keep makeup on and stay cute in these hot and humid situations because I cannot do it. Anyway, that cruise was really fun. It was nice and leisurely. We did not see any crocodiles, but I guess this time of year is not the best to spot them because it's too hot for them to be like out on the bank, which I get. I would be swimming in the water too if I were a crocodile. Hello, happy travelers. I'm going to be going on the Kuranda Scenic Railway and the Sky Rail, which is a gondola going over the rainforest. I did not anticipate spending so much time in the Cairns area, but there is so much to do and it's so beautiful here that I just had to take advantage while I was in the area. This is one of the top things to do in Cairns, so I think it's going to be a very stunning ride. Guess I'm a little early, the train's not even here yet. I think it's at 9:30. It always makes me nervous when things are not like super obvious as to what's going on, and I'm the only one here, so we'll see, I guess. She's here. 3, 4. This is a long train. So I booked the gold class upgrade. That's this one behind me, carriage 8. It gives you extra room. You have assigned seating, and you get like some snacks, a cheese plate, and like I think an alcoholic beverage. Only like 31 Australian dollars more, which is like, I don't know, $19 or something. So really not bad. I'm gonna wait to board because the attendant just came by and said it's still very warm on the train. He's gonna open up some windows to try to get some airflow. Stopped at the first station. They came around and gave us a little menu of food and drinks. Now we're gonna get all the food that's on here, and we just have to choose which drinks we like, which apparently are available throughout the journey, so that's cool.
If there is a need to evacuate the train, please follow the instructions and directions of our onboard staff. Thank you for your attention.
Honestly, it's keeping it really cool, which is very nice. These trains don't have air conditioning, and I think if it's sunny, the heat can be pretty oppressive. We make a stop at Barron Falls Station. It's only for like 10 minutes, but it's very, very misty today, so it's hard to see anything. But luckily, I saw Barron Falls yesterday when it was clear, so I will add in some drone footage that I got here. In case you're wondering, yes, there is a bathroom on board. It is a flush toilet, easy to use, and convenient for sure. We have arrived at Kuranda station. Now you can either take the train back down at a certain time, or you can take the sky rail, which is the gondola, which is the path that I have chosen because it's a different perspective of the rainforest. My gondola doesn't leave until 1:15 p.m. You can select your own time, so if you want more time to explore Kuranda, which is a really cute town, you can do that. But since I was here yesterday kind of exploring, I didn't need all that much time. And honestly, that cheese plate that they served us on board was kind of filling, so I'm not hungry enough for lunch, but there's actually a tea room right here at the station, so I think I'm gonna get some scones just for like a little light lunch and then head back down on a gondola. All right, I got my scones, which have some strawberry jam and cream on them. Yum. And if you get them with a coffee or tea, it is $8 Australian, which is like just over $5 US, which is actually a really good deal. So far, prices in Australia compared to US prices are pretty good. It also helps coming from Los Angeles because everything's expensive there, so then you think everywhere else is cheap, so that's an advantage, I guess. So I have like about an hour until I need to get to my sky rail, so I'm just gonna relax, I think. Kuranda is a cute little tourist village. Everything is walkable from the train station, including the sky rail station, which is where I'm headed. And then also in the village, there is like a butterfly sanctuary and a koala park and some rainforest walks that you can go on. So plenty to keep you entertained for a couple of hours while you're waiting for your return transfer. Just got on the gondola. Thank you. I'm about 15 minutes earlier than my booked time, which is fine because it's not busy, and I have the whole thing to myself. It's about a 45-minute ride. Of course, they put you through a gift shop before you board, so of course they got me there. Ooh. And we stopped. No, it's still moving a little bit. My gosh, we're over the river. Where of course there are crocodiles. And just like that, I'm at my first stop. I don't know how many stops there are. I didn't even know there was one, but we're at Barron Falls, which we stopped at on the train, and then I saw yesterday, which is pretty cool, that I'm getting 3 different vantage points of this waterfall because it is insane. Now I guess during the dry months it is not as full as it is, but it has been raining a lot here lately, so it is raging, guys. This is neat. Highly recommend if you ever come to Cairns. This is a really cool excursion. That was a pretty cool ride. There were actually 2 stops that you could get off and explore just a little bit. They're like real short stops. So I got off at both of them. And they take your picture. Mine was just up here a minute ago. They take your picture at the very end that you can buy like you're at Disneyland, which is funny. And now I think I catch a bus back to Cairns Central where my van is. And then I'm gonna start heading south. Good morning, happy travelers. Today I am taking a catamaran cruise around the famous Whitsunday Islands in Whitehaven Beach. I was actually supposed to take one yesterday, but it got canceled because of booking problems, I guess. And I'm actually kind of surprised this one didn't get canceled today because the weather, not so great. Okay, hang on for just a second, guys. I realized that I didn't tell you that the catamaran trip actually got canceled. So I had 2 trips to see Whitehaven Beach cancel, so I ended up going out of that same terminal on more like a ferry, so they kind of ferry people to the beach, which ended up being this whole super long ordeal, which you will see right now. So I am taking off from the port of Verly today. I think this is where cruise ships come in, and also you can catch boats out to the different islands into their reef suite, which is an underwater suite out on the Great Barrier Reef. How cool would that be? Today I'm going on a catamaran called the Chimera, and I saw it outside. It is very purple. We're going to Whitehaven Beach, which is considered one of the best, if not the best beach in the world, certainly the best beach in Australia. And we're gonna cruise around the islands, and I don't think we go as far as like the outer reef. It's gonna take about an hour to get to my stop where I have to change boats before I go to Whitehaven. This is giving me serious deja vu because this is exactly the same type of ferry that Kevin and I were on a few weeks ago in Fiji. We just got off our first boat. Now we're switching boats in a few minutes and then we'll be off to Whitehaven. Finally about to step foot on Whitehaven Beach. It's been a freaking journey to get here, I'll tell you what. Yay, I finally made it with all of my crap. Whitehaven Beach, wow. It is beach. Oh man, I hope that is not coming our way. I swear the weather changes every 5 minutes. On this cruise for an extra 18 US, I was able to get a cabana. There it is. So I have to set it up. We only have an hour here. We had to take the long way around the island because of rough seas. So that means literally we only have 1 hour. So it took about an hour and 40 minutes to get here with all the stops and taking the long way around. Also, let's see if I can figure out how to put up this cabana by myself. Hey, I did it, sort of. Hopefully that doesn't blow away. The wind seems to be okay right now. Whew. Worth it for an hour? I still don't know. All right, let's give you some fun facts about Whitehaven Beach. So Whitehaven Beach is located on Whitsunday Island in the Whitsunday Islands. It is 7 kilometers long. It is considered Australia's best beach by some. It depends on which list you're looking at. The sand is very, very white. That's because it's made out of 98% silica, which is totally unique, and it's so fine that it actually squeaks when you walk on it. Since it's summer in this part of the world, it is stinger season in the Coral Sea, which means there's a jellyfish that's about the size of your fingernail that can do some serious damage. So you have to wear a stinger suit if you are going in the water, which I have one of those. They gave them to us on the boat free of charge, which is awesome, and I'm sure I'm going to look super cool in that. But I'm definitely gonna go in the water because I cannot be at this beautiful beach with this beautiful blue water and not go in, even if I do look like a big dork. Kind of reminded me of like Virgin Islands, like US Virgin Island vibes. I went to ask a couple of questions and they had some sausages made. So I have some like bread and a sausage with some ketchup on it. So that's lunch for today. I have about 40 minutes left and I have to deconstruct this cabana before we leave. So it's a lot to do in a very short amount of time. Not a lot of relaxing. And really, honestly, just like that, we are about to be transported back to the boat. Only got like, realistically, like 45 minutes on the beach. Was it worth it? Jury's still out. Made it back to Airlie Beach. So that took about an hour and 40 minutes from Whitehaven. So not quite as long as it did to get out there, but total about 4.5 hours on the boat for about an hour at the beach. Swimming with a saltwater crocodile. Crocodile. But I am going swimming with wow, this is really hard to say. So those are my two excursions. All right, and I guess this is the end of the video. I have oh my God. Woo! Woo! So Kuranda is oh, it's so dark. No. There we go. There were some very young Gen Zers staring at me while I was doing that last video, and it made me self-conscious. They were totally judging me. But you know what? I can't get this on because of my braid. It's okay, I judge myself